and strength. Welcome essence, beauty, presence, time, spirit, form, and space. Welcome excellence in every blessing, sacred and praise. What I seek, I have. What I wanna know, I understand. All I wish I could, I can. Who I wanna be, I am. What I seek, I have. What I wanna know, I understand. All I wish I could, I can. Who I wanna be, I am. Ooh.
What a wonderful opening song. Welcome, welcome to the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living. I am Reverend Patricia, and we are recording this service because we use it on our social media, particularly our YouTube, for our folks who are not able to be with us in person, so to speak. So you're welcome to turn off your video or change your username or whatever makes you feel comfortable on social media. We have a website that you can find out everything that we're doing. Classes, events, the YouTube videos are on there. We also have Meetup and Instagram, Facebook, everything you would ever want to be able to contact us with and know what we're doing. We have it. So please make yourself available. I'm going to be introducing a member of our social Concerns Committee, Ann Brooks, because her social outreach committee, because we're going to be doing a special project this month. So Ann, can you take it from here?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I would like to welcome our honored speaker, Irene Ronachek, coordinator of Citrus Heights Hearts, regarding our outreach this month, supporting their winter sanctuary program. So thank you, Irene, for sharing your program with us this morning. Please unmute and go ahead.
Well, thank you, Ann. My name is Irene Ronachek, and I have been with Citrus Heights Heart for the last 6 years. We incorporated in 2015, and this is our 6th year of hosting the Winter Sanctuary. It's an overnight stay for folks who are suffering from homelessness. For adults, we are not able to accommodate children. And we offer an overnight place to stay that is dry, safe, a hot meal, and a to-go breakfast in the morning. And this year, I am so pleased to say that we have 9 weeks of overnight stays committed by the various churches here in Citrus Heights. And it's last year, because of COVID, we did go to a daytime winter warming center model, and we were open for 4 hours a day. And so all of the churches that participated, the churches are important because that is where, in the county of Sacramento, that is where we are allowed to have folks come and stay overnight. The churches last year said we are preparing for the guests to arrive for 4 hours, and it's almost as much work as preparing to have them come stay the whole overnight. So they were determined, and we are determined this year to follow through. So God willing, we know we're complying with his will to shelter those who are homeless and in need. And we will be able to follow through with enough volunteers and in a safe and sanitary manner. There's been a lot of support from the community for meals, for overnight volunteers. That's a tough one to fill, as you might imagine, and services. We are currently looking for support to offer a shower at each of the locations. Only one of the churches that hosts us has a shower. And so we are working with Mercy Holistic Ministries. It's a shower trailer that has 2 shower stalls, and they can come to visit each of the host locations. So we're hoping to raise funds to offer a shower along with all the all new undergarments that we offer and selected clothing items. We are beginning Sunday, December 26th, the day after Christmas, and it will go for 9 weeks after that at 8 different churches. 2 different churches are hosting 2 different weeks, so we're thankful for that. So I'm wondering if there are any particular questions that you might have about the program that we offer or other services that Citrus Heights Heart offers, or if you have questions or concerns that you'd like to ask about the adults, the folks who are homeless in our neighborhoods. If there are not questions, I can go ahead and talk about other offerings that Citrus Heights Heart has. Yes, Reverend Patricia.
When you say adults, do you also include the older teens?
Our program is limited to 18 and older.
Okay.
There are
Okay.
other services available for families in particular, and we do have those referrals and resources available at our intake site. So if a family does come, or a family perhaps, or even a couple maybe living in their car that does not want to, often if there are pets, and I see a little pet over there, so cute. Sometimes they don't want to leave their pets in the car overnight, and they want to stay in their car, but they would just like a place to sleep and have the meal and use the restroom, of course. So we can accommodate them, but not younger children.
I am so grateful that you joined us. I'm Reverend Sharon Dunn, the senior minister here. And I invite you with any other discussions or questions to come to fellowship after service. We won't be recording that part, but we can certainly get some of our questions answered. And I also want to thank Linda Connolly, who is our director of our community outreach, for her consciousness in bringing this beautiful being into our Sunday service. Anne, who's on the team as well, just knowing that this is our vision, is to be a part of our community. So thank you very much.
I will, if that concludes this portion, I will go ahead and leave. I need to go pick up a friend, and we will be heading off to our own worship services this morning. So thank you very much for this opportunity, Anne, and take care. God bless.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I'm very touched by that. I know we all are. I'm so excited to have that happen this morning when we're starting a brand new month. And what month is that? It's November. And what is November if not our month of Thanksgiving? And thanks in giving. And so we're going to talk a lot about that this morning. So I welcome everyone. Again, I'm Reverend Sharon Dunn. I'm your senior minister. I'm so excited to see people from all over the country, from Kansas, and we have Reverend Lisa, who is from Thailand, although she's not in Thailand right this moment. She is a minister of truth in Thailand, and I just asked her to be a guest speaker this coming year for us, so that we can hear how you found a center in a foreign country and continue its beautiful lineage. So I welcome you also for being here, and we're going to get started in our actual service by bringing our practitioner of truth, our practitioner of the day, here for us. I see that we are also, because we're starting a new month, we also have 2 books of the month. You'll see this on our website. If you don't have to take notes. All of this will be on our website. The talk, the announcements of our outreach program and our new books of the month, which is The Hidden Power of the Bible by Ernest Holmes and The Gratitude Formula by May McCarthy. So you can kind of get a gist of what we're doing here this month in gratitude. So thank you. So our practitioner of the day, Linda Connolly, as we mentioned earlier, is our director of our outreach program. Her husband, Patrick, is waving frantically because he's so in love with her. And they do share the same birthday, which is very interesting. Not the exact time of birth, but pretty darn close. Am I right? And Linda is a beautiful consciousness. She is, to me, she's a naturalist. To me, her connection is in nature, which is very Zen, a very Buddhist soul. So let's welcome Linda Connolly as she prays us in.
There is this divine essence, the divine spirit that flows in, through, and as all creation. It is that flows in, through, and as each one of us here. For each one of us, of all creation, has the individualized stamp of approval of the divine spirit that was given to us. And it is this source that draws us together as we gather today to have our minds opened and questioned with the divine message of Reverend Sharon Dunn. We have our emotions and feelings will be uplifted and stimulated by our local artist, Doug Van Workum. We will be listening to different ways that we can gather and share with gratitude, with the gifts that we have with others, and we can gather and share in our spirits. And we'll be hearing about that today. And then we'll be left in wonder by our production manager and board president, Ruth Hall, who just, I don't know, miraculously puts all of this together. And for all this, I am so deeply, deeply grateful and thankful, as I am every Sunday. And I'm reminded even more so in the month of November, which is always Gratitude Month. And for this, we kind of breathe in and we know that we will hear exactly what we came to hear. We will be stimulated exactly how we were meant to be stimulated, and our feelings will move us into even a deeper understanding and expansion of it all. And so with a deep breath, we release and say, and so it is. Our readings for the day. The sum total of all erroneous human belief binds until the individual mentally lifts himself above the law of averages into the higher law of spiritual individualism. SOM, page 115. It is a powerful insight to live by. Always get the view from the top. Before you react in negativity to people, conditions, or things, take a moment to lift up your eyes into the hills. Contemplate all the changing, challenging experiences from the highest possible point of view. Eric Butterworth. This is our purpose, to live the purest, the largest, the fairest, the most useful, the most beautiful, and the most spiritual life possible, just for today. To be our very best here and now, with no desire to outshine some other being, but simply to be all that we are in divine being now. Christian Larson. And now we're going to be so thrilled by our inspirational artist, Doug Van Workum. Doug has been playing the drum and sharing poetry for many years. He uses the profound poetry of Rumi and Hafiz and many others. He also writes and shares his own poetry, and today Doug will be presenting one of his original poems that will move and captivate our spirit and our hearts.
Good morning, everyone. In the spirit of this month's holiday, I've chosen a poem to share that I wrote a few years ago while feeling particularly appreciative and grateful. I call it Our Unending Ability to Choose. From the moment of our watery birth, we swim the ocean of endless desire. So let's start by giving thanks for life's eternal ripening and our unending ability to choose. Shall I dare commit to something so immense, so complete, so powerful, so loving that it fills all time and space? And yet it never hesitates to give me what I truly believe. To all this and more, I continually say yes. It's so good to know that reality joyfully remakes itself every time we choose anew. The world is learning to lean in close and pay more attention to what the wise ones have been saying all along. The more I learn to speak only to what's good and true in life, the air I breathe begins to glow and fill my voice with light. Before any true healing can occur, the imagination must allow for the unexpected, the improbable, and the unbelievable to take place. As we move through the world, seeing only the best in what's around us, the ground we walk on rises up to praise our every step. I am so grateful. Each time I remember that the fragile human heart carries so much wisdom, and yet the mind still loves going to school. So let's praise God for giving us two kinds of knowing and our unending ability to choose. The day is coming when each piece of wood, no matter how it's shaped, remembers it comes from a tree. Our understanding always grows deeper each time we stop blaming the world and pray. While growing up, my family never learned how to dance with joy. Now, one way I'm learning to dance is by writing and sharing these poems with you. So let's all be grateful for the time we do have left and our unending ability to choose. In some old cultures, they have no word for leaving. They know that no matter how far you wander, you are always heading home. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodness, that was beautiful. Reality joyfully remakes itself when we choose. That's my talk. We're done. Good morning. Good morning. We have such talent amongst us. So November, we have a theme, and that theme is breathe in the view. Breathe in the view. And the topic for today is the view from here. And actually, I really didn't know what to make of that theme or the topic. I didn't know what to make of breathe in the view. But think of it this way. Think of this month as a time to reflect. So that's a spiritual practice, reflection, contemplation, prayer, right? So this month, we have an opportunity to reflect. And what we're going to reflect on, it has to be what's already happened, has to be what appears to be. And so when we reflect, as Doug said, then we choose. So I thought I would go to the typical November energetic. What is that? Well, for us culturally, it's Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving. And so I thought, well, Thanksgiving, and I talked to Doug about it. And I said, let's focus on gratitude. And we've done that before, but I have kind of another twist to it today. I went to a little bit of a different place. I thought, well, if I'm going to talk about gratitude, well, what is not gratitude? I have to know what gratitude is. And sometimes I have to know what things are by what they aren't. Do you ever feel like you have to know what it is by what it isn't? And so I had a lot of fun with complaint. Oh my goodness, did I have fun. Kind of went down that rabbit hole and just had a ball. So if what we give attention to expands, don't I say that? What we give attention to expands, that's the science of mind, then why the heck would we ever complain? I was like, well, because I can. What else is possible other than to be caught up in complaint, which creates more complaint or more things to complain about? Because we have to have something to complain about. So in order to complain, we've got to find something to complain about. And so as we're complaining, what we're creating is more things to complain about. Anyway, that's another topic altogether, the mathematics of complaint. So my question to you is, can we actually create the change we want through gratitude rather than complaint? Yum. If a complaint is to find fault, then gratitude is to correct it. This is philosophy by Sharon Dunn. So I'm going to talk about three things today. One, the anatomy of a complaint. And number two, the anatomy of gratitude. And number three, the constructive complaint. So of course I had to go to the dictionary. I had to go to the dictionary to learn about complaint, right? And so what is a complaint but a statement that a situation is unsatisfactory or unacceptable? Right. It's to find fault. I'm laughing because who does that? Find fault in things. To express dissatisfaction, the unacceptable, pain, uneasiness, censure, resentment, or grief. Complaining rewires your brain for negativity. Did you know that? Especially at a neurological level. We'll talk a little bit also about how it inspires or invites the stress hormone. It makes it harder to make decisions or solve problems because your mind goes into a tizzy because of all the stress. Have you ever experienced a ringtail tizzy fit? Grumbling and complaining comes from a root of bitterness that is so deep within your core that you are blinded when it creeps up on you. And how about scripture? Let's just bring in a little scripture this morning. Hallelujah. Since we're in Sunday service, let's do Philippians chapter 2, verses 14 and 15. Do all things without complaining and disputing, that you may become blameless and harmless children of God. So our teaching, the founder of our teaching is Ernest Holmes, who is the author of, as Linda was saying, SOM, which is the science of mind. And he also wrote our Declaration of Principles, which is what we believe. And I chose one of those declarations today, one that is often controversial. And I don't find that to be so, but you'll listen to it and you'll probably hear that little ooh. But we believe in the healing of the sick and control of conditions through the power of this mind. Yippee skippy. That's one we're working with today. And what does it mean to control conditions? Well, we're going to talk about that. So in the anatomy of a complaint, I had to I had to look at, well, what is a complainer? And it was interesting when I did my research that it talked about we or you. And I decided to make it personal. I decided to say what a complainer is using I statements. Please join me if anything resonates. Support me, please. Number one, I don't complain. I'm just being real. I focus on mistakes. My inner critic is my best friend. Beating myself up goes unnoticed. I'm not pursuing excellence. I'm using past failure as a whipping post. I replay failure over and over. Say moi? Compliments embarrass me. Ew. If people knew the whole story, they wouldn't compliment me. Irritation is my normal response to most events. I wonder why I can't be like others. Playing what if is my favorite pastime. I call myself a perfectionist. Nothing is ever good enough. Everything could be better, and I let everyone know. I don't want people to feel too good about themselves. After all, most already overvalue themselves. I deflect corrective feedback with excuses and blame. I worry that people are taking advantage of me. I never really live up to my potential. I constantly make little improvements on other people's ideas. How about this one? The last one. The last compliment I gave happened when Fred Flintstone was mayor of Bedrock. The anatomy of gratitude. This is more fun, folks. Much more fun. To breathe in the view with Thanksgiving. This is the season of Thanksgiving, right? Harvest time. We automatically are in that state of noticing abundance all around us. And the time to reflect is time to look at where we've been, our challenges, our triumphs, the opportunities, the actions, the shifts, the changes, the pivotal moments. Can you name one that's happened this year? Can you name one for yourself right now? The growth that you've made this year, can you just name one area that you've made a pivotal change? Can you be thankful for it for a nanosecond? Can we start to think together for a whole month about our reflections? Can we do that? Raise your hand if you'd like to take that journey with me, the whole month, breathing in the view. I mean, remember when Dr. David did the whole, well, I guess it was one of the classes I took from him where we had to wear a bracelet, like an elastic bracelet. And whenever we complained, we had to snap it and then put it on the other side, the other wrist. Have you ever done that? Well, it's exhaustive. Don't do it. It's ridiculous. You're always going, you know. But it has its value in demonstrating for us how many times we complain in a day. Is there any complainers out there? No, I guess not. So the anatomy of gratitude is when we take a moment to appreciate and honor what has occurred. In all things, give thanks. In all things. In all things. That means that thing that happened that didn't feel so good, but to look for the good in it, because there always is. Don't you hate that when you're going through something and someone says, "Yeah, you know, this too shall pass. You're going to be happy this happened." Oh, that worst thing that ever happened to me is the best thing that ever happened to me. Oh, don't say that when someone's actually in it, but we can know that for them, can't we? And express the gratitude. This is something that's really important, especially in our teaching when we think about words are things. We think about, you know, the energy and power of our word. We realize that our word is powerful. And if we give thanks, even for all things, that's powerful. Feeling and expressing gratitude lifts our consciousness even higher and gives us an even clearer perspective of the spiritual truth that is always operating. And I always say gratitude is the root of abundance, don't I? Gratitude is creative and causal. What does that mean? It means that it is the thing that manifests into form, just like a complaint. A complaint or gratitude, they're both causal, aren't they? Gratitude is not only creative and causal, but when we compare it to complaining, we know that they can't occupy the same space. Have you ever tried to complain and give thanks at the same time? So let's move into the last idea here, because this idea is kind of the biggest idea that I want to spend a little time on. And that is the constructive complaint. Do you realize that there's good news about a complaint? That there's a great thing about complaining if it is constructive? And so this is kind of an important shift. So we're shifting the lack and scarcity paradigm. Now, what is the lack and scarcity paradigm? It is, I must compete with others because there's not enough. I cannot share knowledge, skills, contacts, information, and I must remain suspicious. So constructive complaints are, listen to this, now we have a drum roll. Constructive complaints, and if you hear nothing else today, hear this. They are solution oriented. If you hear nothing else, doesn't that make sense? Versus unfiltered rumination on negative experience. So we can either point out what's wrong, or we can point out what we would like to change, and this is how we're proposing to do it. That's a real different way of complaining, isn't it? The science the science behind the art of complaining is that when we complain in this way, it's better for our mental health. It lowers our stress hormone. This is huge. Negativity has its effect on us in our minds and in our bodies. Complaining for the purpose of resolving a concern or grievance is helpful to our mental health, our physical health, our spiritual health, our emotional health. It's a way to channel our needs into actionable outcome. Isn't that a wonderful word? Actionable. Actually, I'm actionable. That's a good little mantra. It leads to positive experiences like self-awareness, mindfulness, happiness. Happiness. We're talking about happiness here. We're talking about the constructive complaint that can make us happy, that can make all around us happy, people around us happy, the person that you're in conflict with happy. We're talking about creating workability, aren't we? The more pet peeves you have, the less highly you can rank your happiness. It's also off-putting to others. How do you like that complainer? That one that, oh yeah, you know, here they come. They're gonna have, oh God, there's the glass is half empty. The shoe just dropped. They're here again. Oh my goodness. Moping Millie. I don't know where any of this is coming from. It's not in my notes, but unfiltered negativity prevents a positive overall outlook and fuels further negativity. We know that this is causal, right? So what do? You have a favorable outcome in mind before you complain. Isn't that something? And there's science in that, because we talk a lot about the science of mind. We talk a lot about like the mathematics behind it. We talk about the formula, the A plus B equals C. If you've got a complaint and you've got a favorable outcome, you have something magnificent about to happen, don't you? So don't think of a complaining as a negative if you have a solution in mind. Is this a great idea for November? Raise your hand if you're getting excited about this. You know, one time I'm not more than one time. There's a person in my life that's very important to me that criticizes me publicly because I compliment too much. At first, I took it personally and I thought, wow, I better stop doing that. And then I realized who I was talking to. I was talking to the person that is focused on complaint. And so that would be a very uncomfortable exchange if I was complimenting. Do you ever listen to somebody and believe them for a minute before you think it through? I do. And once I thought about it, I started complimenting more because I like who I am. And I love finding something wonderful about you. Complaining without a plan of action, again, releases these stress hormones. I love the idea of journaling. Journaling is a spiritual practice where you could write down at the end of the day what bothers you. And then you can look at your journal. And if that thing that bothers you shows up in your journaling, more than once, it's time to complain with a solution. In other words, the complaint is already there in the journal. This is not good. That's not good. And so then you can identify where a solution is possible. Isn't this a great idea? Of course, we know that frequent complaining impacts us negatively. Well, it certainly impacts our relationship. Do you know that I was taught, and I've said this before, I was taught that to have a successful relationship with a man, you do 3 things. Don't make them wrong. Don't tell them what to do, and love them. And what is love to a man? Unconditional acceptance. What's love to a woman? Being taken care of. So that's not even close. I mean, that's not even anywhere near each other. And remember, this is man, woman, or we could say female, male, because we have both in each of us, don't we? It's the feminine and the masculine. And so being negative about someone, that's not going to help your relationship. Making someone wrong is not going to help the relationship. Not accepting someone in the relationship is not going to help the relationship. And how about you can catch more flies with honey? We've heard that one, haven't we? A couple more. It can be a challenge to ensure that your complaint is received constructively by the person on the other end, can't it? We want to be very careful in that stage. When you're ready to deliver your complaint, I statements are really best. Don't use the you pronoun, the you, because that's going to put someone on the defense immediately, isn't it? As soon as I hear the word you, I'm like, oh gosh, what have I done wrong? Is that something you've experienced? Give specific suggestions to fix the situation, to change and improve the situation, and invite opportunity to discuss working together to make things better. We've been successful in that in some of my relationships that I've had with some of you. Have we not? Workability. We've worked hard on creating workability. We trust people who see the world in similar ways as we do, don't we? Well, how about we assume trust with all people? You know, it's that whole thing where I assume I like you because you're like me. We think the same way. We have the same politics. We have shared values. I have been through an enormous reconstruction of how I can meet people in that field that Rumi speaks of, where there is no wrongdoing. To meet people there means that we give up the comfortable realization that we're the same. How easy is that? Oh gosh, that's easy. In fact, I'm having the most wonderful time in my relationship that I am new in. As you all know, I have this new relationship, and my goodness, I'm a widow. He's a widower. We both love the Niners. I mean, I could go on. That could be a completely different sermon, but boy, how comfortable we are together because we are of like mind. Well, what happens when you are not of like mind? A couple more here. Focus on feelings, not facts. You know, to gain empathy from someone is to share who you are. Why do you think that way? Where are you coming from? How did you develop that idea? Instead of just throwing the facts, only the facts at someone, to gain empathy, to gain that connection with one another, is to explain. Talk through what's frustrating you. And here's the last one. Utilize the complaint sandwich. You stick your negative complaint between two positives. How about that? Serve the complaint sandwich. And in conclusion, my folks, my friends, the view from here depends on where I focus attention. Isn't that the topic for today? The view from here? And what does that mean if not? Where is my attention focused? Our task in any situation is to look beyond the appearances and seek the spiritual truth. The spiritual truth. We spend less and less time being under the effect of this world so that challenges don't last as long or have the same degree of impact as they used to have for us. Isn't that something? How you can dissolve a complaint, with a solution. You can literally dissolve a complaint with a solution. And from a higher state of consciousness, we can be in the world, but not of it. You've heard that. And I was listening to Karen Drucker this morning because, if you want to have some gratitude songs, isn't Karen Drucker the one to go to? Isn't she our go-to girl? And she sang this: be too grateful to be hateful. Let us give thanks this November together, all month long. We breathe in the view. Who's in? Let us pray. I want to give thanks first. Isn't that what Jesus did? Before Jesus ever prayed, he gave thanks. And why did he do that? Because he knew that the prayer was answered. Because he had that power of mind, didn't he? And so I kind of feel like all prayers this month should be that of thanksgiving. And I'm not praying to something outside myself that gives me whatever I need, like magic. I'm giving thanks that I have the gnosis, the knowledge that I know that I know that I know, that my word is powerful. And I recognize the one power, the one presence, the one almighty, the creator creating creation, the one that creates everything out of itself, the one that created all of us in its likeness. How does one create anything out of itself that isn't like itself? And so I am the power and the presence, the intelligence, the love, the life of the one. And in that unity, we are all correlated. We are all connected in grace. And so right now, I speak my word of thanksgiving. Thanksgiving that I live and breathe. That my breath is the breath of God. That my body is the body of God. That my health and wholeness is the truth of my being. That when I know what I know, it becomes so, and that is so. And so I claim and declare and demand the harvest, not only for myself, but for everyone, every sentient being, that there's enough, that there is no suspicion of the abundance of this life. There is no doubt that there is only an intention to not only know my good, but to share it. Every opportunity is an opportunity for thanksgiving. It is an opportunity to give thanks, which creates more and more. I'm thinking of Jesus and the bread and the wine and how it fed the multitudes. How did that happen? That is the science of this beautiful teaching. That what we know and trust and believe in and have the intention of becomes form, becomes the truth, becomes life. And so in this month of Thanksgiving, I know that our center is abundant. I know that that abundance is shared with the local community, and that the local community is shared with the global community, and that all the good that we receive and give in that flow of Thanksgiving is returned to us multiplied, running over. That I concentrate, I intend, I welcome, I invite, I act as if I act as my own wholeness, my own intelligence, my own joy, that we all share in that there is enough for every sentient being, more than enough. And so I give thanks for the good, knowing that God is good all the time. I give thanks for this. I release my word into the law, knowing that it supports this prayer 100%, as we all say together, and so it is. Ashe. Hallelujah. Shalom.
Clouds have gathered here before. Sand has shifted beneath our feet. Time has marked the moments when trembling hearts skipped a beat. Be still, my soul. Be still. Be still, my soul, be still. A rush of wind in the air, the breath of life drawing near. God is here. Be still. Be still. Who am I to doubt this truth? Who am I to fear my need? The one who holds my life and breath will not falter, will not leave. So be still, my soul. Be still. Be still, my soul. Be still. A rush of wind in the air, the breath of life drawing near. God is here. Be still. It is well with my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. God is here. Be still. Be still. Oh, be still. Be still. be still.
Thank you. And good morning. And it's our offering time. And we are offering you 3 opportunities to give. And one is through PayPal or Square. And there's our great website shown on the screen. Or you can mail a check, a personal check, to our address in Sacramento at Sac CSL, also shown on the screen. And Amazon Smile is a great way to put us down as your favorite charity, and we appreciate it. And thank you to our YouTube audience for your donations. All is so appreciated. Thank you so much. And please remain muted as we say our abundance affirmation together. Abiding by the law of circulation and in heartfelt gratitude, I affirm that I live in a creative and abundant universe that continuously flows in, through, and out as me, expressing as the ever expanding infinite good. And so it is. And please stay for our fellowship after. And we have a prayer request online for everyone. Please use that and take advantage, and because it works. And also we have a powerful prayer with a practitioner out during fellowship. And please join us, and we have fun. And here's our latest news from Reverend Patricia Van Woochem.
We have a slew of news for you, and almost all of it surrounds this wonderful space at the Citrus Heights Community Center, which is our new space. We will start holding services there the first week of January, and will be the first Sunday of every month plus the 5th Sunday. But even before that, we're going to be there for our candlelight service on the 19th of December. And this is going to be a hybrid service. So you can either be there in person, which is just truly spectacular. But if you can't, the Zoom is equally wonderful. And of course, we'll record it for those who are our YouTube audience. But do join us. The candle lighting service is one of the highlights, I think, of every year. But even before that, we're going to be able to get together on the 4th of December from 2:30 to 4:30 for a silent auction and a cookie exchange. So watch your emails for information about the events. The items that are going to be part of the silent auction and the details for a cookie exchange during the world of COVID. We have figured it out. We'll keep it safe and fun and amazingly tasty. This is going to be great fun. When you come on December 4th for the get together and the silent auction, please also bring what you have been collecting for Heart. That's why we had that wonderful woman, Elaine, addressing us earlier about what Heart does for the community. So bring what you are collecting for them on the 4th, and it'll be a wonderful time of cookies and celebration and silent auction and watching our givingness to the community mount higher and higher as we fill boxes and boxes of things for Heart, or for the people who Heart serves. And believe it or not, this relates. Busy Hands, Warm Hearts meets on the 1st and 3rd Monday of the month, which means we're meeting not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow. And this group is crocheting, for those of us who do needlework, we are crocheting mufflers for the adults who are part of the community that Heart serves. So if you don't make your own, you're welcome to bring a find a wonderful scarf or hat at your local thrift shop and bring it on the 4th of December as we gather. So I believe that is everything that we're doing. Isn't December going to be a fabulous month? Great way to end this period of gratitude. So I turn this back over to Linda.
Hi, and our gift for the week is our affirmation of I lift my eyes to the highest and grandest view of life. Beautiful. And now for the benediction as we continue in this flow of gratitude, this flow of thankfulness. And we're going to breathe in the view of Thanksgiving, this view that will glow and fill our voices with light. This is what we're going to carry with us for this week, for the rest of the month. For I know that this month of November of Thanksgiving will be a month where we'll be in that continual flow of giving and receiving and ultimate gratitude for all the possibilities. And we're going to hold this from that highest view of our expression of Thanksgiving. And with that, I continue on with this great love and gratitude. And so it is.
So it is.
There is always a light when we are ready to see it. There is always a light when we are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill, together we will. There is always a light in the dark. We are ready to see it. There is always a light in the dark. We are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night and be a gift. Together we will. There is always a light. There is always a light. We are ready to see it. There is always a light. There is always in the dark. We are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night and be a gift. Together we will. There is always light. There is always dark. There is always light. There is always dark. To see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night and be a climb this hill. Together we will. There is always light. There is always dark. There is always light. There is always dark.